Hello everyone!
Every time that we react to content from Germany, I'm always very surprised by the fact that you can go from one country to another in Europe without showing your passport, without passing immigration. All of that is crazy to me because in Canada, you cannot even go to the US without showing your passport and crossing immigration. You know that you enter the US because of the big border and the patrol agent and everything. And in Asia, I cannot go anywhere without a visa, without waiting in line, without taking the bus, going to the border. And Europe look amazing for that. You guys are so lucky. You don't understand how lucky you are. It's the only place in the world where you can go from one place to another and you don't even know that you enter another country.
I hope maybe in the future, like all the country are equal. Like we help each other, thing like that. Like in the European Union, it's probably gonna be good.
Okay, you're talking about like people from poor country coming to Thailand? I know where you were heading there. Like, because Thailand is the richer country around where we are. If you compare to Cambodia, Laos, Myanmar. So Sujaree doesn't want to have too many people that come here and work illegally, I guess. Is that what you mean?
Yeah, and also there's a lot of problem right now, about the black business thing that capture kidnap people to work in the border, thing like that is still going on a lot. So I don't think it's safe to
You mean
do
the black market near the border?
Yeah, thing like that,
It's controlled by the Chinese a lot, actually.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Yeah. Okay, let's go. Okay, let's
go.
The
story begins at the end of World War II, as the European continent lies devastated, leaving the United States and the USSR as the two major world powers. Their growing rivalry marks the beginning of the Cold War. While the Soviets control Eastern Europe, the West looks to the US for reconstruction aid. While the old continent is found divided by the Iron Curtain, in the West, the idea of European unity begins to take hold. On the 9th of May 1950,
think about
France...
this. Winning a war kind of impacts you, but at the same time, if you look at World War II, Germany lost, and look at how powerful they were since then.
Maybe you are trying to, build your population well, to make them have brain. Like build a country, thing like that. That's why it's doing well, and also it's not really corruption that much.
To take hold. On the 9th of May 1950, France, via its foreign minister Robert Schuman, proposes a Franco-German reconciliation and placing under a common high authority the production of coal and steel, the main wealth of industrialized countries, which is also needed for the manufacture of weapons. The aim is to boost the economy and maintain peace, with the project left open to countries wishing to join. The following year in Paris,
it's because a lot of the time when a country loses a war, it's a country that is like poor, like Ukraine. Who want to help Ukraine, right? Because they have not much to offer. But Germany, the Nazi, created a lot of technology, like a lot of technological advancement, and a country like France and other country, they want to profit out of that. So they want to make deals with this country, even if that country just did a genocide. So it's all about like opportunity, when you
sign a treaty
ally yourself with
establishing
others.
The European coal and steel community. As Germany is divided by the Iron Curtain, only West Germany becomes part of it.
See, Berlin on
To accelerate the development of Europe, the 6 founding countries meet on the 25th of March 1957 in Rome to sign 2 new treaties. The first treaty creates the European Economic Community, whose main objective is to establish a common market, including allowing the free movement of workers and eliminating tariffs between member states.
Wait, what did he say?
Whose main objective is to establish a common market.
What is the name of this?
European Economic Community, whose main objective is to establish a common market, including allowing the free movement of workers and eliminating tariffs between...
See? That's what we said. You can go work on any of these countries. Like you don't need like a work visa. Like here in Thailand, Suji want to go to Cambodia to work. She needs like a work permit. It's complicated. It's all of paperwork. You can go from these countries. And the tariff, there's also no tariff between those countries that are together.
That's amazing. Is it Poland and the UK are the same too this day?
No, I don't know about this day, but right now the white country, Poland and UK, are not part of that. It's only the one in blue, I think. But in 1957, because it's a timeline.
Between member states. The treaty also defines common policies on transport, trade, and agriculture. The Common Agricultural Policy, among other goals, aims to increase agricultural productivity, offer reasonable prices, and ensure a fair standard of living for farmers. The second treaty establishes the European Atomic Energy Community, coordinating civilian nuclear research programs. The Treaties of Rome enter into force in 1958, but it would take several years for its policies to be implemented.
The years
Many
moving.
countries asked to join the communities, including the United Kingdom. But France, under the leadership of Charles de Gaulle, vetoes the accession request,
Wow.
considering the UK as too close of an ally to the United States. The institutions of the three communities are merged to enable more efficient functioning.
Whoa.
There is now a single commission composed of commissioners chosen by the heads of state. Its role is to propose European laws in the common interest of its members. There is the Council.
So there's laws like that country, yeah, but there are also laws that apply to the whole of the people that are in the European Union. It's crazy, huh?
Yeah.
It's crazy because there's so many country member and they are part of that. It's think about that would never work in Asia. That would never work in North America. Like this is like mind blowing. Now I understand. They are really connected way more than I thought.
Made up of ministers of the member states and whose role it is to approve, modify or reject the proposals of the Commission. There is the Parliament, representing the people of Europe and which also gives its opinion on Commission proposals. Its power would increase over forthcoming treaties. Finally, there is a Court of Justice that rules over the legality of decisions taken. In 1967, the United Kingdom renews its request for membership, which France opposes a second time, with the removal of tariffs for industrial and agricultural products.
Wait,
and
hold on. So if one country say no, you're doomed? Or what? Or it's because France have more votes?
Second time. With the removal of tariffs for industrial and agricultural products and the free movement of workers, the economic situation improves rapidly, prompting a new wave of membership applications. This time, negotiations go well, but in Norway, the population opposes the country's accession in a referendum.
Why?
In 1973, Ireland, the United Kingdom and Denmark joined the
finally.
community.
Nice.
In Paris, the heads of state and government come to an agreement to create the European Council. Leaders would meet at least 3 times a year to together define the broad guidelines of the community. South of the continent, after the end of dictatorships in Portugal, Greece and Spain, the 3 countries request membership of the community.
Wow.
In 1979, for the first time, members of the European Parliament are elected by universal suffrage.
I mean, everything looked good so
In
far.
1981, Greece joins the community, while the following year,
Greenland.
which receives more autonomy from
Yeah,
Denmark, chooses to leave the community after a referendum.
Okay, I'm
In
gonna say who care about
1984,
Greenland,
the
but
United Kingdom under Margaret Thatcher says it does not benefit enough from the Common Agricultural Policy, which then represented 80% of EU spending. The country negotiates to obtain a reduction in its contribution to the community's budget. In 1986, Spain and Portugal joined the community. 12 member states and the European
so so each country need to contribute in a different way because they are part of the group, right? So each country need to, like some country like France are going to contribute more because they have more asset, right? Some country are going to contribute less, but you cannot just like sneak into the community, onto the commission and just like have all the benefit but give nothing in return.
Yeah, of course.
So the UK was like, well, we don't benefit in the agriculture, so we need some help in that regard. But that can create conflict though, because all the country in the world, what they want is to receive a lot and to give the little, to help their own population, because everyone's going to be selfish of their own need. So you need to be a little bit selfless, or you're going to ask too much and you're not going to be able to give a lot in return,
Yeah, like what happening in some countries sometimes, that why maybe that is make the UK kind of quit the European.
Well, that's
EU.
recent.
Yeah, I mean the recent
Brexit,
one.
But, well, I'm sure they regret it now. I'm not sure, but
Commission give a boost to the internal market by signing the Single European Act. In addition to eliminating custom fees, the goal is to remove all obstacles to the free movement of people, goods, capital, and services. It is the single market project to be completed by 1993.
Oh, wait, the fall of the USSR.
After the fall of the Berlin Wall, Germany is reunified. In the east, the USSR can no longer contain revolts and collapses, opening up new horizons for the community, which establishes contacts with the countries of Eastern Europe. On 7th of February 1992, European heads of state signed the Maastricht Treaty. The European Union is created and gets new powers. The treaty envisages an economic union and the future creation of a common European currency. All countries ratified the treaty, including Denmark, where 2 referendums and negotiations to be exempted from the common currency are required. A new wave of countries request membership to the Union, but Switzerland and then Norway oppose potential candidacy via referendum.
Switzerland is in the middle of nowhere between a lot of countries that, no, don't need you, we're rich.
On the other hand, in Austria, Sweden and Finland, negotiations succeed, and in 1995, the EU grows to 15 members.
Oh, it's only 15! What?
This is cute.
Signed in Schengen, Luxembourg in 1985, the Schengen Agreement is gradually introduced from 1995. Its objective is to abolish border controls and therefore have total freedom of movement within the European Union.
So there was still border control at this time. I thought it was okay. So there was already free, like, worker go to work, but there are still border control in 96. Okay, I thought it was more ancient. It's recent. The thing that I love, that you can move freely from one country to another, you know?
85, the Schengen Agreement is gradually introduced from 1995. Its objective is to abolish border controls and therefore have total freedom of movement within the European Union.
It was still not there.
The agreement is incorporated into the European Union through the Treaty of Amsterdam. In addition, the common currency project advances, which would be called the euro. However, the United Kingdom, Sweden and Denmark do not want it.
Why? No, but that makes sense, right? If you can travel from one country to another, you want to use the same currency.
Yeah. So
it doesn't make sense if you change the currency. Yeah, that's why it makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
Countries set up the European Central Bank. The euro was officially launched on the market in 1999, although the currency would be put into circulation only from the 1st of January 2002. As negotiations take place to enlarge the Union, heads of state meet in Nice to try and improve the structure of the Union. The outcome of the Treaty of Nice is considered mixed. 2 referendums are needed in Ireland for it to come into force.
Enlargement.
On the 1st of May 2004, 10 new countries are included in the European Union. All new members joined the Schengen area, with the exception of Cyprus, as part of the island is controlled by the Turkish army since 1974. After the half-failure of the Treaty of Nice, the 25 heads of state meet in Rome to again try to streamline the functioning of the European Union. This time, they aim to create a constitutional treaty that would replace all existing treaties with a single text. This sparks heated debate across Europe.
Yeah, what do you mean by a single text?
An overly powerful European Union at the expense of national sovereignty. The French and Dutch populations. This sparks heated debate would replace all existing treaties with a single text. This sparks heated debate.
So it's a more like one text that suited all versus having individual treaty that can be understood separately. Yeah, I understand why people would say that it's a little bit bad.
Across Europe, fearing an overly powerful European Union at the expense of national sovereignty, the French and Dutch populations oppose the treaty via referendums.
Might give a lot of power to
triggers a period of reflection and in-depth consultation within member states. On January 1, 2007, Romania and Bulgaria joined the European Union. The same year, 27 heads of state signed the Treaty of Lisbon, which aims to strengthen and improve the functioning of the EU after enlargement. Notably, it is agreed that the EU's role is to promote peace, support sustainable development, fight against social exclusion and discrimination, and safeguard cultural heritage. The treaty is ratified by all states but Ireland, which holds a referendum and rejects it. Yet again, more negotiations and a second referendum would be needed in Ireland for it to take effect. The global economic and financial crisis has repercussions on the Eurozone, which enters a recession. After the rout of major European
North
banks,
America, it was
many
crazy.
countries find themselves in difficulty. In particular,
Right,
Greece,
Greece.
part of whose public debt has been kept hidden with the help of consultants from the Goldman Sachs Bank. The country is forced to ask for financial aid from the Eurozone and the IMF, in exchange for which it must implement austerity measures. Ireland, coming to the aid of its banks, also sees its public debt explode. But the country does not want to ask for aid from the Eurozone, fearing it may in return be forced to raise its low corporate tax rates. The country finally receives aid all the same, in exchange for which it must adopt a strict plan. Subsequently, Portugal, Greece a second time, Spain and then Cyprus obtains financial aid from the Eurozone, while almost everywhere on the continent, austerity plans are put into place.
Oh, this
In
is what you don't
2013,
want.
Croatia joins the European Union. At the
Croatia's
borders of
there.
the continent, the so-called Arab Spring creates instability in
Oh,
many
here we go.
countries. The civil war in Syria, a second civil war in Libya and in Iraq, and other events such as the war in Afghanistan and violence in the Horn of Africa push many people to
Libya or Syria, like, oh, you can join the European Union, you can go from one country to another, but people are not going to leave. You know,
Yeah.
all of those countries in blues are not necessarily all first world, but they don't have like that much political instability like they have in those country in gray on the map. So I understand. So now it's gonna now bleep eat the fan right now.
migrate
I
to
guess.
Europe. Despite the construction of walls at the Turkish border, in 2015, over 1 million migrants entered the Schengen area. Europe tries to slow the flow of migration. Security patrols are reinforced on the Mediterranean
That's
Sea,
a-
while certain countries temporarily reintroduce controls at their borders. In addition, the European Union signs agreements with Turkey and then with Libya, where the political situation is very unstable,
No,
so
but
that
see,
they control and
That's a moral dilemma, right? Because you have people that are fleeing war and need to go somewhere to survive, but then you're a country and you say, well, we're struggling over there, but we're gonna try to help you out. There's country like Germany, there's country like Sweden and Norway that have taken a lot of immigrants, and there's countries that have taken a lot less. And in those countries that have taken a lot, there's one side that is really for it and one side that is pushing against it, and it's a dilemma because why do you want to let people like that are begging for help like not help?
Especially like they enter there and then they not really work hard like the real citizen, but they can get everything that you pay and then have to go pay for them, and some of them doesn't even work. Like you just like get pregnant, thing like that, and get the salary from the government.
Yeah, but isn't that a big stereotype? Like if you go to Sweden, if you go to a country in Europe and you don't speak the language, you go to France and you don't speak French, how are you gonna find a job? How are you gonna find proper? You need to go to school first. You don't have any
Oh, yeah.
education. How are you gonna find a job?
Oh
You know?
yeah, I think they probably allow you to go like at the school, like maybe there probably a law for that, right? You need to study for the particular job. Even you cannot speak, but some of the place that you don't need to even communicate at all, but you still can work.
Yeah, but I mean that during the time that you're learning, you're not useful to the country. Like you need to learn the language, you need to learn a skill, so you're not useful to the economy. That's what I mean.
But
right?
still, I'm pretty sure when you enter the country, they have a little bit of money for you to survive until you can get a job for the country. Like
Yeah,
that.
but
Of
that's
course,
what
they
I
have
mean.
it
But
for
a
you.
lot of them end up not be able to integrate or to find a job, and they end up in the ghetto area of the country, like the little getaways, mini city inside a city where a lot of people like are not working and don't have a lot of hope.
Yeah, of course. But I mean, it's probably better than where they came from.
Yeah, but a lot of the local are like, why are we paying for people to stay on the street and do nothing? To
Yeah,
their point, but I
but
think
the thing
it's-
is that which country gonna accept them? Because there's some organization that very like talking about human rights all the time, but I mean they're trying, but there's not a country. Even the Muslim country themselves not even take their city the same religion to their country. So
because
different.
also after that, of course, immigrants have the right to vote, and it creates like you get the government that sometimes it's the immigrant that will decide of your government if there's
Yeah.
anyway it's a complex
That weird.
issue.
block the so-called illegal migration routes in exchange for financial aid. Migrant processing centers are funded mainly in Italy and Greece, where migrants find themselves awaiting regularization in overcrowded conditions. The migration crisis divides European countries and fuels the rise of nationalist and Eurosceptic parties.
The rise of the right wing and fascism. And then now we enter.
In June 2016, the United Kingdom, through a referendum, votes in favor of leaving the European
I will
Union.
never understand. Can
The
someone
country
explain
then
why
enters
he did
long
that?
and difficult negotiations with the European Union
Yeah,
to define.
it took forever for the UK to join, right? They were like, please take us, please.
Then they just
And
out
then they're
for
like,
themselves.
no, we weren't out. And it's
I think maybe they don't find benefit that much that way.
the UK is very closely tied to the US in a lot of aspects.
Yeah,
Not just the
and
language.
I
so
think and also their money worth more than the euro, right?
I guess.
Find the
Yeah.
conditions of their withdrawal. After numerous failures, an agreement for Brexit is finally reached, and
But
the
I think
United
he
Kingdom
regretted
exits
now.
the EU on January 31, 2020. While the UK no longer has any decision-making power in the bloc, it continues to contribute to the European budget and receive funding at least until the end of the year. By this deadline, it is meant to negotiate future agreements with the EU, in
Wow.
particular concerning customs duties, free movement, the status of Europeans living in the United Kingdom and vice versa, and the status of the border that separates Ireland from Northern Ireland. After the departure of the United Kingdom, the European Union has
Switzerland is still
27
not there.
member states with a
That's so
population of about 450 million.
What is that small country? Below like Estonia, Lithuania, and Latvia.
Oh, I forgot.
What
There
is
was a
that
word
small
name.
country?
Are underway for the accession of new countries, mostly in the Balkans.
Ah.
Negotiations for Turkey's accession, which started in 2005, are
It is so
stalled.
big.
19 countries are members of the Eurozone, while 6 other countries have adopted the Euro without being a member of the Eurozone or the EU.
Oh.
Finally, the Schengen area now comprises 26 states,
26
including
states.
4 non-members of the European Union, with Cyprus, Croatia, Bulgaria and Romania
What?
expected to integrate soon.
Oh.
I think it's more the Eurozone that means
Okay.
Switzerland is still not there.
Even to this day.
But Switzerland is one of the rich. It's probably one of top 3 richest countries in Europe, and it's quite expensive there. Maybe
Yes.
they don't. I mean, they're doing well without it.
Yeah, and they have weird what is it? The party thing that it's like, for example, if you compare with the king, like they have 4 king in the country, thing like that.
In
Or like,
Switzerland?
yeah, I
I'm
think
not sure how that
like
worked the politics.
4 president.
I don't know, but they are doing well.
I was reading why is Switzerland doing well, and then people just like answer because of the tax. And we pay like crazy tax.
Well, in Sweden, they pay a lot of tax. In Norway,
Oh yeah,
I
but
mean-
at least they use your tax to do something, you know.
Okay, it's all fine. Oh, okay, I know it's finished.